Hey everybody, I'm David with Bolivar Live, and once again, I'm here with Terri Leo Wilson, our state representative. Thanks for coming down again.
Oh, well, thanks for the opportunity.
Saw you Friday. Let's talk about Friday night because we had a little gathering. What was your thoughts about it?
I thought it was a great turnout. We had 72 people we counted that came for a Friday night on Bolivar in the wintertime
That's good.
to see a politician. No, it's really
Not just a politician, it's Terry.
yes, your representative, but still, that was a really great turnout. I want to thank Brad Veratus with Stingray for providing all of the refreshments and appetizers and the location, and also Brenda Flanagan and Janie Mayfield for helping to organize it all. But I thought it turned out lovely.
You had some people also come down from Chambers County that I know, and I thought, man, that's neat when they're going to travel down, and some of them, like you said, have beach houses down here. We're in the sprint. Let's talk about you've done great things in your tenure you've been there. What are some of the things you're going to work on or that you see yourself really interested in working on?
Yes, we touched a little bit about it in our last Bolivar Live, but I think overall, across the state, property tax relief is one of the major things. But also, we have the additional added hardship living on the coast is we have really high insurance costs. So and TWIA. So when you combine those three things all together, we're pricing people out of their homes.
Literally.
Yes, literally. And the people who really live and work here are people that, live and work here in the tourism industry for the most part, at the port of Galveston. So these are not wealthy people. And, we are facing a struggle with that. So we actually have to crack open both insurance reform and TWIA reform. What I would like to see, and I'm going to start a coastal caucus next session. There's various, Texas A&M caucus, all the different caucus. I said, why don't we have a coastal caucus with all of the state reps along the coastline? We all, whether you're Republican or Democrat, have the same issues in our districts. Right. And so I went to the senior member, Todd Hunter from Corpus Christi. He said, you go, girl, do it. So that's what we're going to do next session. We are going to try to argue first for disaster insurance as well, a statewide plan for disaster insurance. So, for instance, one of the biggest costs to insurance is hail damage. We have our occasional massive hurricane expense that, we have to use the rainy day fund for. But one of the reasons our insurance cost is high is because of hail damage. We don't have hail here. We share the burden of every disaster among the state. The West Texas fires, that we bore that on our insurance. The flooding in the hill country. So, but nobody wants to share the love with the coastline on insurance. One of the reasons TWIA came in here in the first place was because, they are private insurers and they decided that the cost to insure people on the coast was too much and they were going to leave the state. And so that's one of the reasons why TWIA, which is kind of a quasi private insurance company and state together, they have to follow state regulations and rules, and the state has a part to play in that. We have to bear that. And so looking at insurance differently, but even getting some of those reforms done. I know our Senator Mays Middleton was very good about that this session. We did get some reforms done in that. But, for all of us, including our school districts, I was able to get an amendment put into the big public ed funding, the $8.5 billion of new money for public education. We were able to include in that an allotment for TWIA for the 22 coastal districts, yes, that are on the coast of Texas, because our school districts can't afford that either. And they had, like Galveston ISD, had to devalue their buildings. And if we did have another major disaster, they'd never be able to recover the full cost of replacement. Well, so we've got to figure that out. We have to figure out property tax relief. I am very, very optimistic. We did a huge bill, Senate Bill 2, that I supported and voted for And I also voted for the budget, which included $51 billion to buy down the maintenance and operation portion, the M&O portion of your property tax bill, which lowers your rate in the end. Every time the state steps in to buy off more of that M&O, you don't have to pay it.
Right.
So that's how that kind of works. So that was also in the budget, which I voted for. But I am optimistic because we have a governor who has talked about eliminating property taxes for a really long time, and I also carry that bill as well. But he has promised to come over to the floor of the House and the Senate and work that bill personally. That means a whole lot in getting the job done. We have passed appraisal caps in the House, but we cannot get a hearing in the Senate. But when you have a governor that's saying, no, we're going to do appraisals every 5 years, we are going to cap those at 3.5% a year and no more. At least you, as a taxpayer, know that is what's going to be expected of me to pay the next year. You have some kind of ability to budget. Uh, so those things, those very important 5 points of the governor's plan, he will be over lobbying for this year. And he's only done that on a couple issues, but when he's done that, it has been highly affected on state legislators. I'm one of the ones he doesn't have to arm twist. I'm already there.
So you're down on the coast.
Exactly.
So you know exactly.
I know exactly. I know exactly. But even, we had a lot of bipartisan support for property tax reform because, the Democrats are hearing that as well from their caucus. And we've got to figure out a way to do both. We've got to figure out a way to lower our property taxes, working towards elimination. I don't think we'll see elimination or a different type of taxing system this session, but we have to work on those three issues for the coastline. We have to. I think another really important thing for this area is infrastructure. Here on Bolivar Peninsula, I passed a bill that once again reinstates 87 as an emergency route. By doing so, and people say, well, it's just naming it, it stays the same. Not really.
No,
It makes it more of a priority. It makes it a priority on the Galveston County Transportation Plan. Galveston County has already said that they will help pay for the study for the Army Corps of Engineers to come in and elevate that. We have looked at different routes last session and before, and we have kind of been down that road, my first and second session
right.
of rerouting 87. Because of Kepler lands, federal government lands, that's probably not going to happen anytime soon.
It's a lot of refuge property right around there.
And our Congressman Randy Weber has been working over on that issue on a particular area in Port Arthur that's the same low-lying area that they cannot fix without getting some of that federal land back. And he has worked on that, like 20 years.
Yeah.
And it hasn't happened. We don't have 20 years on 87. We don't.
We're one storm away
We are.
from a hole.
We are.
And that's what, I've talked to TxDOT and said, hey, and anytime we have higher tides, I make a phone call. Hey, are you staging equipment so we can get people in and out?
Yeah.
And
Entergy has, to their credit, has been very responsive.
Yeah.
So has the county. After we had the Armageddon, the Snowmageddon, what do we call that?
Snowmageddon.
The 7-day freeze over on Bolivar. I think a lot of things have changed since then.
Oh, Entergy.
They did. And, we had a community town hall at my prompting. And to their credit, their CEO even came down and took bullets, as well they should. They needed to answer to the people. But they really have followed through with making sure that they are staged ahead of time. They have improved the resiliency of the equipment. They have a really great plan for Bolivar, and they have committed to that. And one of the other things that I really appreciate is they have also, for a lot of what went wrong in that disaster is they were not communicating.
Right.
And they do now.
Their communication now, I can tell
Yes.
you, is
Yeah.
I talked to Jim Mullane or the other girl that's there. I mean, nonstop.
Yes.
And now if I have a question, they get back with me. We've started Bolivar Live Alert, and they're aware of that. In fact, we're meeting here in another week to talk about that. And so,
And not only are they staging, but they also, I don't want to. They're responsive. They're Johnny on the spot when I call them, but they also, at our behest, put up a warming center.
Mhm.
So they have that going before
Right.
they are staged before the storm comes, and they put in a generator for us.
That
So they have really really improved things, I think, for this community, and to their credit, and I'm going to give credit where credit is due.
and even I'm gonna touch on Burl real quick because I think it was a lot worse here than we thought. But I talked to Energy called me every morning at
Yep.
9 a.m., told me what their plans were. But then we also talked to the guy in charge, and they gave me a background on their logistics, how they got prepared. And they went out of their way to get prepared for an area that it was hitting 35, 40 miles, in fact, hitting down at your house.
Yeah.
And so, and if you didn't see the show a week or two ago, that's what really started the show was me talking about how Terry really helped us and took time with no roof on her house, took time to take my call and answer some questions I have. That's the kind of lady she is. And that's the kind of representation we have here on Bolivar with Terry in the past. And I'm looking forward to the future.
Yes, me too. Me too. And the rest of Galveston County too, as all of House District 23 needs help with its infrastructure. I'm hoping we have brought the Speaker of the House down here 3 times, just so that he can see the traffic out in, go out with the pilots and see the traffic and how congested it is out there and how many ships we actually have coming in.
It's
That
not
are
just people.
no,
It's
no,
it's plants, it's ports,
yes.
it's a major thoroughfare
It is.
for imports.
And a lot of our industry tell me
Right.
we can do more. We just don't have the transportation system in here that we need to do it. It's a really difficult situation to resolve. We have areas that are pockets of high growth areas in House District 23 where we are growing, doubling in size in 10 years, the population growth. And our industry is booming. So we have to create an infrastructure system that can handle what industry brings. I think I mentioned it last time we were talking, but this little area between the Port of Houston, the Texas City, and Galveston Port, this whole area and the industry, we have 85% of the military grade jet fuel oil coming out of this area. Plastics in Chambers County. I mean, all the things that we use across not just Texas, but across the United States. This little area brings in the gross daily product for our little area for Texas is 27% of our GDP. So
Man,
yeah.
that's huge, huge. If there's one thing you want people to know, we're gonna wind this down. What's the one thing that you want people to know about Terry Leo Wilson?
I want people to know that I truly do care about them. I am very engaged. I give people my cell phone number. I give constituents it all the time. Some people are like, or they don't believe that it's me on the phone. They'll say, "Is this one of your staff or is this really you?" So, Dave and I are retired. We promised the people of this district that we would be full time, that I would be a full time state rep, and we have committed to that, and we have kept our promises, and I'm proud of that. We love improving our community and doing things for people. We are both very much service orientated people. We always have been. We've always volunteered in, whether it be with the homeless or, just all of the different organizations that build and make a community better. And so that is just part of who we are. That's kind of in our DNA. And so when we help you, we take home a really great feeling and pride in that. And that won't go away. That will stay. And I'm very proud of what I have accomplished in 2 years, 2 sessions. And I've told Dave this before, even with just what we've done on education, which is my big issue. And
Oh, you just fixing it.
but even with what I've done, If I've only served you 2 sessions in the legislature, I can lay my head on the pillow and think back for the rest of my life. Wow, I I got to do that. Even yesterday we were in Chambers County at a turkey shoot and raising money for one of the volunteer fire departments. And I joint authored the bill to increase cancer screenings for firemen, both volunteer and regular fire departments. And, you don't sometimes get to see what the impact of that bill did, and a firefighter came up to me and said that they caught his cancer early,
Early.
and, it was liver cancer, and he, went through everything he needed to do. They took out part of the liver or whatever they do, and, he went through all the treatments, and he said, "Because I had that early screening, you saved my life."
Yeah.
And I said, "Thank you for telling me that." And I just gave him a great big hug because sometimes we get to see, they go, "Oh, I did that when I fixed the ferry and I'm coming over on the ferry." But sometimes we don't get to see that. And so I was extremely grateful that he took the time to come tell me that. And that made it all worth all of the fight. It's hard to pass a bill. There's 6,000 bills and 150 of us. And the house is very rough and tumble and scrambly. And you see us arguing on the floor. We're all trying to get our bills passed. And so it's not a small thing to pass a bill. There's a lot of work and a lot of time and a lot of effort and a lot of visiting with 150 different legislators to try to get your bill a hearing and on top. And so when you get to see that one passed and you get to see that it improved the lives of the people that you know and love, that is huge for me.
Great. Great. Real quick, you talked about education, and I want everyone to know this. How many years were you a teacher?
38.
38 years in education. That says something right there. At least it does to me. And especially if she had kids like I was growing up, she did her work.
Did
So,
And I remember their names, all of them,
do you?
like every teacher does, yes.
Well, we're going to head on out once again. It was great talking with Terri Wilson. Thank you for taking the time to come over. For more information on everything you're doing, what's the best way for people to keep up with you?
Terry for Texas. Go to terryfortexas.com. That's my website. That'll give all my endorsements, what the bills that I passed, the bills that my agenda for the future. Yeah, so that's a really good place to go. Yeah,
And then everyone's got social media. You got
exactly.
great
You know,
social
I'm
media.
on social media, so if you follow me, you'll follow all that I do and where I'm at. And I'm one of the few state reps that answer. Sometimes that's to my demise because I'm a truth teller and I will tell you the truth, even if it might be not
Right.
the issue or how
That'd
you
be
want me.
feel good about what you say.
Exactly. And that's the thing is, I am a state rep that tells you the truth, and either you love me or hate me for it. But I do tell you it, and I do tell you where I stand. I do tell you what I'm going to do, and then I do it. And so I'm perfectly okay if you disagree with me on the issues. Vote for the other person. That is what representative government is. But politicians, elected officials, representatives, whatever you want to call them, they need to keep their word
Right.
to the people. And so if you run on a platform, you stay on that platform. That was your promises. And so, people say, well, you didn't listen to me. And I'm like, I listened, but I ran on a platform of I don't want casino gambling in Galveston County.
Right.
And I will tell you that up front. And I will vote no. And I tell the casino gambling, people that I will vote no. And so, and I do. And that's what you need to do and not listen
It's
to
trust.
the noise and listen to the trust. I know that issue and how that's polling statewide, but in Galveston County, we don't want it.
Right.
So
Great. Great. Well, we're going to head on out. Until next time, I'm David with Bolivar Live. Y'all have a great day, great week. Come see us. God bless, and bye-bye.
Video equipment is sponsored by Crystal Beach Decor and More, located at 1959 Highway 87 in Crystal Beach, Texas, and Beachy Beatnik Boutique and Jewelry, located at 970 Surfside and Highway 87 in Crystal Beach, Texas. Thank you to these two businesses for being our 2025 video equipment sponsor for Bolivar Live.